If you're a man over 60 and it's been a while since you've woken up feeling firm, I want you to pause for a moment. What I'm about to share with you could reignite something you thought was gone forever. I'm not talking about medication, not injections, not some strange device. Just your own hands and a way of touching that's right at the right time in just 5 minutes a day. And yet thousands of men over 60 have found their vitality again, their confidence, and their sense of manhood. I'm Dr. David Walker. For over 30 years, I've walked alongside men who feel like their bodies are slipping away from them. But I've also witnessed incredible things happen when they learn how to touch themselves, not for pleasure, but for restoration. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from, the US, Canada, or somewhere farther away? Drop your country in the comments below. And if you'd like to keep receiving helpful videos made specifically for men over 60, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell. Now let's begin. Part 1. Why your body feels distant. After 60 and what that really means. When a man turns 60, a quiet feeling can show up that few talk about. It's the sense of being distant from your own body. You still function, still go about your day, but something inside feels silent. You no longer feel strong. You no longer truly feel like yourself. I've heard this from many patients. They walk into my office looking steady, but their voices drop when they admit, "Doctor, I just don't feel like a man anymore." They're not talking about sex. They're talking about identity. The fire that once lived in their chest and their belly deep inside feels like it's faded. You're not alone. And this doesn't mean you're declining. It's actually a message. A quiet signal from within saying, "I need you to come back. I need to be listened to." For decades, your body has been a machine. You worked with it, carried responsibilities, endured pressure. But did you ever stop to listen? Did you ever place your hands on your body without any purpose but presence? When those signals fade, morning, firmness disappears, desire flickers, sensation feels far away, it's not damage, it's an invitation. Because connection doesn't vanish with age. It vanishes when we stop showing up. One of my patients, Arthur, 68, once said, "It feels like I've been living in a dark room for years, and now one little light came back on." If you see yourself in this, drop a comment below, "Understood." That one word might be the first step in coming home to yourself. And when you're ready to explore a gentle but powerful method to reconnect, let's move on to the next part. Part 2. What male wellness massage is and why it works better than you expect. When I say male wellness massage, most patients respond the same way. They pause, they raise an eyebrow, some chuckle. Others ask, "Doctor, is that even appropriate?" And I understand. As men, we've been trained to associate touching ourselves with shame, awkwardness, or something purely sexual. But what I'm talking about here has nothing to do with sex. This is restoration. This is about presence, breath in your own two hands. When you gently place your hand over your lower abdomen or the base of your pelvis with intention, you're not just touching skin, you're sending a signal to your nerves, your blood vessels, and your spirit that says, "I'm still here. I haven't given up." This massage restores blood flow, relaxes the pelvic floor, and reawakens nerve pathways that may have gone quiet for years. You don't need tools. You don't need special training. What you need is patience, care, and a willingness to show up for yourself. I remember Edward, 72, who told me he hadn't looked in the mirror in months. After just 3 nights of practice, he said, "It's not just warmth I felt in my lower belly. It's like someone pressed my reset button." This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you are, reconnecting your mind, your breath, your heart, and your body, the 4 foundations of masculine vitality. If you've ever felt hesitant like Edward, but are open to trying something gentle and truly made for you, leave a comment. Ready. Now let's explore what actually happens inside your nervous system when you begin this kind of touch and why it can restore your senses more deeply than any pill. Part 3. What happens inside your nervous system when you touch your body the right way. When a man over 60 begins to touch his own body with presence, not rushing, not chasing a goal, something shifts. not just in the body, but in the nervous system. Underneath your skin around the lower belly, the perineum, and the penis, there's an intelligent and dense web of nerves. The most important of these is the pudendal nerve. It's the main pathway for sexual sensation. But like any path, when neglected, blocked, or unused for long enough, the signal fades. After 60, things like chronic stress, poor movement, shallow breathing, and emotional shutdown all contribute to this quieting of sensation. But it doesn't mean the nerves are gone. It means they're waiting for oxygen, for circulation, for attention, waiting for you. When you practice wellness massage, especially with breath and intention, you're doing something remarkable. You're reactivating this network of nerves. Every slow glide, every gentle press, every breath into your belly says to your brain, notice this. This matters. And your brain listens. Thanks to something called neuroplasticity, your brain can build new connections, yes, even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. When you stimulate the pudendal nerve regularly, you're not just restoring sensation. You're retraining your brain to engage again. Desire comes easier. Control gets stronger. Confidence rises from biology, not force. I remember Stephen, 69. He was recently divorced and said he hadn't felt anything down there in over a year. I asked him to give this practice 2 weeks. Simple touch, slow breathing, no expectations. After 5 days, he messaged me, "Doctor, I didn't realize how numb I had become until I started feeling again." And he wasn't talking about erections. He was talking about presence. If you've ever had that moment when your body suddenly feels alive again, drop a comment below, yes. Now let's talk about another key part of the body. One that many men have never even heard of yet. It plays a massive role in your erections and your overall sense of connection. Part 4, the pelvic floor, the quiet key to a man's strength after 60. There's a group of muscles most men never think about yet. It controls so much of your physical power and sensation. It's called the pelvic floor. This set of deep muscles forms a hammock that supports your bladder, prostate, intestines, and yes, it wraps around the base of the penis. It's involved in everything from urination to ejaculation. But here's what many men don't know. As we age, stress, long hours of sitting, shallow breathing, and years of emotional tightening can cause this muscle group to lock up or go weak. I remember Martin, 70. He looked at me and said, "It's like my body stopped showing up for me." As I observed, his belly was tight, his breathing shallow, and his hips barely moved. All signs of a clenched pelvic floor. When that happens, even if your blood vessels are open and your hormones are fine, you might still struggle. Weak erections, lack of control, low sensitivity, even no desire at all. It builds up silently. We carry tension in our jaws and shoulders, but many men also carry it quietly in their pelvis, like bracing for impact every day without realizing it. That chronic tightness cuts off circulation, stiffens tissue, and weakens the tone needed for full erections. But here's the good news. The pelvic floor responds beautifully to gentle attention. Massage along the lower belly, inner thighs, and especially the perineum helps release tension. It brings back circulation, and it lets your nervous system breathe again. Even deep belly breathing can help relax those tight pelvic muscles. It's your body's way of saying, it's safe now. You can let go. Martin told me a week later, "Doctor, it's not just physical. I feel open again." That's the shift we're aiming for. Not just performance, but presence. If you've ever felt that tightness in your lower belly and didn't know what it was, comment below aware. And now, if you're ready, it's time to put this understanding into practice. I'll walk you through 3 specific massage techniques to help restore blood flow and reconnect with your body gently and naturally. Part 5, 3 massage techniques that awaken blood flow and restore connection naturally. Now that you understand your body, your nerves, your pelvic floor, it's time to take action. And action doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need equipment. You don't need a doctor in the room. All you need are your hands, your breath, and a few quiet minutes each day. I'll walk you through 3 simple techniques. When practiced regularly, they can completely shift how you feel in your body on the inside. First technique, the ring glide. Use your thumb and index finger to form a soft circle around the base of your penis. Gently glide up toward the tip slowly and steadily. Use a natural oil like coconut or almond oil to keep things smooth. Breathe deeply as you go. This isn't about arousal, it's about restoring blood flow and reawakening sensation. Second technique, the perineal pulse. The perineum is the soft area between your scrotum and anus. It's full of nerve endings, but often ignored. Use 2 fingers to apply gentle circular motion or light taps. Close your eyes. Breathe into the feeling. This can calm your nervous system, release deep muscle tension, and even support prostate health. Third technique, the breaststroke. Place one hand on your lower belly or groin. As you inhale, gently stroke upward. As you exhale, stroke downward. Let your hand move with your breath. This trains your body to respond with calm rather than tension. It reduces cortisol, increases nitric oxide, and helps your brain relearn connection, relaxation, and control. I've seen men who felt completely shut down emotionally and physically come back to life through these small, steady movements. Leonard, 73, once told me, "Doctor, I didn't just feel my body wake up. I felt like my soul came back online." And he wasn't exaggerating. When circulation returns, sensation follows. And when you treat yourself with care instead of judgment, something deep inside you shifts. That shift goes beyond erections. It lifts your confidence, your mood, even the way you walk into a room. If you're ready to try at least one of these techniques tonight, leave a comment. Try. And if you're still unsure, up next is a story that may speak directly to your heart. A real man aged 71 who thought it was too late until everything changed in just 7 days. Part 6, the true story of Frank, 71, and how he got his confidence back in 1 week. I'll never forget the first time I met Frank. He was 71 years old, a retired engineer, soft-spoken, polite. But in his eyes, I saw something heavy, the same quiet weight so many men carry when they feel like something inside has slipped away. We talked for a bit, and then he finally said the words I've heard from so many others. "Doctor, I just don't feel like a man anymore." He wasn't talking about his career or his family role or his mind. He meant that part deep down, the part that once felt steady, strong, alive, even playful. Frank said he hadn't had a strong erection in over a year. His intimacy with his wife had slowly disappeared, and most mornings he didn't even bother looking in the mirror. "It's like I faded out of my own body," he said. But what struck me most wasn't his symptoms. It was his willingness to try something new. I explained the idea of wellness massage to him. No pills, no pressure, just 5 to 10 minutes each night of focused, caring touch. He raised an eyebrow like many do at first, but then nodded. "If it helps me feel like myself again, I'm willing to try," he said. Frank started with the 3 techniques we've just talked about: the ring glide, the perineal pulse, the breaststroke. He didn't overthink it. He didn't try to force results. He just showed up. Every night, he created a quiet space, turned off distractions, and gave his body permission to feel again. By day 3, something surprising happened. Not a full erection yet, but warmth, tingling, sensitivity, feelings he hadn't noticed in years. By day 5, he woke up with a partial erection, and for the first time in over a year, he smiled at himself in the mirror. By day 7, he had a real conversation with his wife. Not about performance, just about being present. A few days later, they shared their first moment of closeness in months. When Frank returned for his follow-up, he looked like a different man. His posture had changed, his voice steadier. There was a spark, not just in his body, but in his presence. "Doctor," he said, "I didn't need a new body. I just needed to remember I still had one." If Frank's story feels familiar in any way, even a small one, leave a comment, relate. And if you're still wondering, can just 7 days of this really make a difference? The next part will walk you through exactly what happens day by day when a man reconnects with his body. Part 7, what actually happens after just 7 days physically and emotionally. One of the most common questions I get from men is, how soon will I notice a difference? And that's a fair question. It's not just doubt, it's a quiet kind of hope. That even after years of feeling empty, maybe something inside can still wake up. And I'll tell you this, after working with hundreds of men over 60, your body responds far more quickly than you think. You don't need months, you just need presence and 5 to 10 minutes a night. Let me walk you through what usually happens during the first week when a man practices male wellness massage with breath and intention. Day 1 or 2, most men feel a subtle shift. Nothing dramatic, maybe a gentle warmth in the groin, a light tingling in the lower belly, or simply the realization I haven't touched this part of myself without pressure or shame in years. That awareness alone is the beginning of rewiring. By day 3 or 4, blood circulation starts to improve. Vessels that have been tight from years of stress begin to open. Some men sleep better. Others feel more at ease during the day. One man told me he caught himself humming while making coffee, and he hadn't done that in years. These little signs of aliveness return, quiet but powerful. By day 5 or 6, the physical responses become more noticeable. Morning erections may return. Sensation grows stronger. The body, finally feeling safe, begins to let go of tension, and the mind follows. Men feel calmer, less anxious, more in control not just of their body but of their emotions too. And by day 7, something shifts. For some, it's the first full erection in months. For others, it's the deep knowing that they're not broken, they're healing. One man told me it wasn't about getting hard, doc. It was about waking up and not dreading the day. He said it was the first time I felt proud of myself in a long time. That's what I want you to understand. These changes aren't just physical, they're emotional, psychological, even spiritual. Your posture changes, your voice steadies. You move differently because your body remembers what it feels like to be grounded, centered, and alive. But this takes consistency, not perfection. You just need to keep showing up. No judgment, no pressure, only presence. Each time you return to the practice, your body responds a little more. It's not magic, it's biology finally given a chance to breathe again. If you're ready to begin your own 7-day journey, comment below 7 days. Writing it down can be your first quiet step back toward yourself. And now, if you're truly ready to begin tonight, I'll guide you step by step through a 5-minute routine you can do right now. No pressure, no need to perform. Just 5 minutes, one quiet room, and your own hands. Part 8, your 5-minute plan for tonight. Simple, quiet, and transformational. If you've made it this far, you're not just curious, you're ready. And that alone says more about your strength than any number or diagnosis ever could. You're a man who's willing to reclaim something that matters, not for performance, not for pride, but for presence. So now let's make this real. Let's talk about what you can do tonight in just 5 minutes to begin reconnecting with your body and waking up the parts of you that may have gone quiet for far too long. Start with your breath. Find a quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Turn off distractions. Dim the lights if that helps. Sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your lower belly. Take 3 deep, slow breaths. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale gently through your mouth for a count of 6. As you do, remind yourself, I'm still here. I still deserve care. These aren't just words, they're instructions to your nervous system that it's safe to soften. Now begin the touch. Warm your hands by rubbing them together. Use a little natural oil if you have it. Start with the ring glide. Form a loose ring with your thumb and forefinger around the base of your penis. Slowly glide upward toward the tip. Repeat for 1 to 2 minutes. Each stroke is a message, not of urgency, but of reconnection. Next, move to the perineal pulse. Use 2 fingers to apply light circular motion between the scrotum and the anus. Don't press hard. You're not trying to force anything. You're simply offering presence. This alone can begin to relax the pelvic floor and reawaken dormant nerves. Finally, place one hand flat over your lower belly. Inhale as you gently stroke upward. Exhale as you stroke downward. Let your breath guide your hand. This is the breath stroke. It's not about arousal, it's about trust. Teaching your body and your mind to feel safe with each other again. When you're done, don't rush to stand up. Sit quietly for a moment, breathe, and if you feel moved to say something kind out loud, I showed up, I'm coming back to life, I'm still a man, and I'm not done yet. Many men have told me this 5-minute ritual became the most meaningful part of their day. Not because it changed everything overnight, but because it reminded them what's possible when they stop waiting for someone else to fix them and start listening to their body again. If you're ready to give yourself 5 minutes tonight, comment 5 minutes. One quiet act, one small promise. That may just change the way you wake up tomorrow. And now there's only one thing left. It's not a technique, it's not a tool, it's a truth. And it may be the most important message of all. Stick with me because in these final moments, I want to tell you something every man over 60 deserves to hear before he gives up on himself. If you've stayed with me until now, I want to thank you. Not just for listening, but for showing up for yourself. That matters more than you know. Because the truth is most men over 60 were never taught how to reconnect with their bodies. They're handed pills, shrugged off, or quietly told to accept decline. But you're different. You've taken a step that most men never will. And that step begins with one simple truth. Your body still remembers how to feel strong, how to feel confident, how to feel alive. It just needs your presence. We've talked about the real reason so many men feel disconnected, the silence that grows louder between the brain and the body with age. We've explored what male wellness massage truly is, not indulgent, but restorative, rooted in science and in care. You've learned how your nervous system can relearn arousal, how your pelvic floor plays a hidden but vital role, and how just 3 simple techniques can restore blood flow, bring back sensation, and offer emotional clarity. You heard Frank's story. You saw what happens in just 7 days, and how a 5-minute ritual at night can begin to change everything. But this isn't about routines, it's about returning to yourself. So tonight, when you sit in stillness and lay your hands on your body, not to fix it, not to judge it, but simply to feel it, I want you to remember this. You're not too old, you're not too late, and you're not broken. You are a man who still has fire in his bones, and now you know how to wake it up again. The next move is yours.